Wanna be a member? Wanna be a member?
No.
This is the 1931 animated classic Bimbo's Initiation, and it was one of the very first examples of modern entertainment to be based around a cult. And over the years, cults and fringe religious movements have become the subject matter for hundreds of movies, cartoons, TV shows, documentaries. Clearly, there's something very appealing to watching entertainment created about cults, but that's not what we're doing today. Hi, I'm Paper Will, and today we're watching entertainment created by cults. Their movies, their comic books, their cartoons, music videos, anime, public access television for the ladies. And we'll also see how many of these groups are using YouTube to find new recruits even today. Hell, most of these cults have way more subscribers than I do, which is both kind of funny and also kind of sad. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Shinrikyo was a Japanese cult formed in 1983, fusing some ideas from Hinduism, Buddhism, and various generic Christian elements. It was started by this man, Asahara Shoko, and while he didn't initially get very much public attention, Shoko managed to push the group into stardom after he announced that he could, fly with yoga. Oh, you don't believe he could fly? Well, explain this picture, huh? Or this picture, or that first picture again, because he only took like 2 of those pictures. That's right, this group only got famous because their great leader could butt jump so well, people thought he could f***ing fly. At its peak, the group had nearly 30,000 believers, which is pretty insane, but even so, it just sounds like a funny, oddball group of yoga fanatics, right? Yeah, they like yoga, they believe they can fly, what's the big deal?
1995年3月20日午前8時頃
See, in 1995, Shoko prophesied that the world was going to end pretty soon, and he really wanted to get that whole apocalyptic ball rolling. So he released canisters of sarin gas into the Tokyo subway line, and Shoko he ended the lives of more than 10 people. Shoko's actual goal was to take thousands of lives with this attack. Luckily for the riders of those subways, Shoko and his cohorts were kind of incompetent. It turns out if you fill a cult with people who believe you can fly from this picture, well, you're probably not going to get, like, the best people. So Shoko did suck at, mass terrorism, but he did have a knack for mass media. Back in the late 90s, before the sarin attack, he recruited and indoctrinated young animators to produce content for his group. Content like this. Yep, there he goes. There he goes. But my favorite scene is this one. The very first time he learned how to fly. Yes, I can fly. I can fly. Here I go. And remember, this is a scene. This is a whole anime designed to get you to join the group. Look at this. Please don't. No, Shoko, don't do it. You're a young man. Don't. It's so absurd to me that this exists. Most of the time, he's just flying around telling people, hey, I know why you're sad. It's because you don't do enough yoga or commit terrorism, I guess. By the way, I love the reaction from this guy. That is the appropriate reaction to what you're seeing. Shoko also understood that you can't just have an anime. You have to get that dance crowd in too. So following the 1990s dance craze, Asahara Shoko decided he was going to make an early pre-viral video dance. And it's If you're curious what they're saying, it's leader, Asahara our leader, leader, Asahara our leader. Yeah, it's a pretty repetitive song. Here's my favorite part. Leader. Oh God, I love it when they say leader. Okay, I'm into it. I've seen worse dances. It's not cool to make fun of people who are brainwashed into a cult, but at some point you have to think one of these girls was like in her head thinking, what the am I doing with my life? Right, how long? There's another 4 minutes of this? No, that's a good cutoff point. There was also a somewhat famous video game named The Story of Kamikushiki Village, but I'm sorry to tell you, this game wasn't actually produced by Shinrikyo. In fact, the game was created purely as satire, but a lot of Western audiences didn't know that, so it looked like the cult had created a video game, but it didn't. I mean, look, does this seem like something that would make you join this cult? I mean, admittedly, he also made this, so... Well, after the sarin gas attacks, Asahara and the other top members of the group were arrested, and all of them were sentenced to death. I don't know if there's a hell, but if there is, Shoko's there now, ass hopping over a lake of fire. Created by science fiction author L. Ron Hubbard in 1953, Scientology was designed as a new kind of fusion between a money-driven business and a self-help religious system. According to Hubbard, stress and negativity weren't the products of things like trauma, but were actually just caused by something more simple. Dead alien souls called thetans, which float around and make us sad. So if we want to be happy in life, all we have to do are two things. One, reduce interactions with individuals with high thetan buildup, aka anybody who's not a Scientologist. And two, cleansing ourselves of our own thetan buildup, a process known as auditing. You put your hands on this machine, a Scientologist will ask you some questions, and you'll try to get the number on the machine to go down. What's that? What does the machine measure? Oh, well, it's technically an ohm meter, which measures electrical resistance, but it also measures the amount of thetans that are in your bloodstream. So, you know, look, if you're just curious about this, all you have to do is go into a Scientologist building, pay $800 for one session, and they'll help you clear out your thetan buildup. The system has been extremely profitable for Scientology, and they've used that income to spread their beliefs through entertainment.
Welcome.
Hi.
You've probably heard of Scientology.
I've heard of you.
In fact, every 6 seconds, someone searches the question, what is Scientology?
And is it a cult?
There's a lot of talk about us, and we get it.
Oh, God.
People are curious.
People are terrified.
We want to answer your questions. Because frankly, whatever you have heard, if you haven't heard it from us, I can assure you, we are not what you expect.
I see a lot of this, where they put their hands over their eyes and look inside the window, and they're like, what is this?
Scientology Media Productions is a very unique studio.
We just wanted a band.
Basically, the video goes on, and it just shows you a bunch of people doing stuff, like cool-looking stuff, but zero answers in terms of what Scientology is actually about or what they believe. Aliens. Now, we could sit here and we could watch this video forever, but check this out. So the IAS was this International Association of Scientologists that produced a bunch of music videos for the group. And it's amazing. They got the Mercedes as their like flex. Look at our white Mercedes. It's a rental, we gotta return it.
Against impossible odds and deceptive facades, one group outshines, man. Just look at the sign. We ain't never gonna back down. Leave town, play the clown. Psychiatry in the speeds, you know we take him down. See the purpose in green is burning.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. The music here is not awful. It's not good. I'm not gonna call it good, but it's not awful. It's just weird that they keep cutting it with like random shots of people in an office building doing awkward gangster poses.
When we win, then nobody falls.
Like, they can't even get their waving like in sync together. Take 3 or 4 takes. This is fine. It's weird, but I'm kind of into it. God, do I secretly love this? All right, let's go next.
Drop it.
No, you know what? I don't think so. No, I think you want to listen to something really good. L. Ron Hubbard's 1970s jazz band fusion with the Apollo group. It's pretty good. Are you kidding me, L. Ron? What were you doing making a religion? Make this! Make more of this! This is so sick! Unironically, this is a fantastic song. And if you think this is good, and it is good, how about the most anxiety-building drum roll in history? Okay, L. Ron, thank you. This is a great roll. All right, now just drop the beat. Come on. L. Ron? Ronnie, you gotta drop the beat. Ronnie, Ron, you need to drop the beat. We're all waiting for the beat to drop, please. Elrond, please. Please, we're sorry. I'm so sorry. Please just drop the beat. Elrond, you can't hold the beat that you have to drop it. Elrond, please. Elrond, please drop it. Please, we need it. God, yes. Yes, thank you. Euphoria. Unfortunately, not every song Elrond worked on was pure gold like this was. You know, an explanation is probably not going to make this better, but I just should let you know this was for his audiobook version of Battlefield Earth. Why did he make this? What's wrong with you, Elrond? All right, we're just gonna move on, I think. Scientology's also got its fingers in some Hollywood productions, often utilizing celebrity membership by releasing films with connections to their beliefs. 1996's Phenomenon took heavy inspiration from Hubbard's writings, and 2013's After Earth film drew on tons of Scientology imagery and themes, although I wouldn't go so far as to call them Scientology-created films. I would say that they're films created by a lot of people with ties to Scientology. 2000's Battlefield Earth, however, was literally an adaptation of L. Ron Hubbard's novel and was produced by John Travolta and the Church of Scientology. You might be thinking, well, you know, just because Hubbard wrote these novels, well, that doesn't mean they have anything to do with Scientology, except they have Battlefield Earth stacked wall to wall to wall in Scientology gift shops, and also, yes, their churches have gift shops. Unfortunately for Travolta and Scientology, Battlefield Earth was immediately panned by critics and is often listed as one of the worst movies of all time, which is pretty ridiculous with performances like these.
I don't know if I could have kept my sanity to be here another 5 cycles.
We've decided to keep you here for another 50 cycles. With endless options for renew. 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 With endless options for renew.
Where's the Oscar, huh? Where's the Oscar? Honestly, the Scientology rabbit hole of entertainment is huge, and I could spend the next 6 or 7 hours telling you about everything they've created on their YouTube channel, on their Scientology Direct TV channel. Basically, you've seen sort of the gist of what you're gonna get. But I wanna go into the next group, so let's jump ahead to realism. Realism was started in France in the 1970s by Claude Vorelholm, who spiritually renamed himself Rael. Rael openly claimed that aliens named Elohims created humanity and have been guiding our species ever since by appearing as gods or prophets or men of great impact like King David or Shiva or, what a surprise, Rael. And according to Rael, he and the other Elohims have stopped helping humanity improve because of nuclear bombs. But don't fret, all we have to do is stop doing war, and then Elohims will fly down in UFOs and usher in a new utopia. So neat. Oh, also they want women to go topless.
Imagine if they were able to actually change the laws and women could go topless. Could you imagine if the men in this state had to wear tops? Men wearing bikini tops. Surfers, yogis, heck, even acrobats in bikini tops. Scarcers.
I just want to take a second to remind you that we're watching a video from the official Realism YouTube channel. Rael, why is this on your channel? And why is this one of your most popular videos? Rael, did you just want to see some topless women? Was all this cult stuff just to see topless women?
Two guys like barbecuing, a guy on a motorcycle with a helmet on, and
That doesn't look safe at all. A bikini is not enough protection, frankly.
a paddleball. Yep.
What the is paddleball?
No, that's hilarious.
I would agree. It's kind of funny that the most popular video on this channel about cults is about women going topless. But there are other videos, and I think we should take a look at them. For example, one of my personal favorites.
It's time. All these leaders brought messages of love and respect from the sky.
Lao Tzu did not come from the sky. Lao Tzu was a Chinese philosopher. I like this artwork, though. It's kind of cool. There's like UFO stuff. There's Jesus. I guess there's a... What the is that? swear, when I was doing research for this video, I didn't even notice this part of the video of his exorcist Jesus baby in a spaceship. Why is his head backwards?
Are you ready to welcome this extraterrestrial civilization?
I guess so. Oh, they want to build an embassy. Okay, supposedly this is their music video / Elohim alien embassy video. I haven't really seen the embassy part of the video yet. It's kind of beautiful. Well, it's getting a little creepy now. All right, we're just gonna skip ahead a bit. All right, we're up in space. This is cool. A lot of Adobe After Effects shots here. It's not ugly. That is the USS Enterprise. You can't just use the Enterprise rail. You can't just use Star Trek's USS Enterprise rail. All right, we're skipping ahead. So that's the embassy. Oh. Look at that sweet 1990s CGI mediocrity. God, that new Second Life upgrade looks really guys. I haven't really learned much about the embassy except that it exists. Jump ahead, and there's nothing. Next. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what okay, those are the same UFOs from the last video, aren't they?
And have also sent us messengers, including Jesus, and to communicate our Creator's desire to meet with us.
Look at that DeviantArt.
We must build an embassy. To know more about the Elohim Embassy project, please contact us at ElohimEmbassy.org.
Oh, I know where we're going next. Meditation and music. Oh, baby, we're taking out the music. With 1 minute for peace.
Sing Yahweh.
Sing Yahweh. Have it Yahweh. I mean, King of Nothing sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna get hooked on this or anything though. You're king of nothing today, yeah! All right, I might have gotten a little bit too excited about that music. We're gonna move on back to the YouTube channel. There's still 2 more videos I wanna show you. The first of which is burning masks. Here we go. This doesn't feel entirely in line with the peaceful message that Elohims are supposed to be bringing. Oh, don't do it on the barbecue. You're gonna have to clean that afterwards. You couldn't quite get that one going there, huh? There it is. There you go. You're a rebel. Well, I still don't really understand what the brand is with your YouTube channel. Is it about peace and aliens, or is it about going topless and burning masks? You're all over the place, and YouTube's all about a niche. I mean, you have a video called "It's a Cult," a satirical song about how you're a cult. You know what? We're gonna play it. Here. It's a cult. Whoa. Uh-oh. I get that the point of the song is to be satirical about how society unfairly treats new religious movements and fringe belief systems. But you probably don't want to make a song about murdering, killing, crucifying, torturing, tearing apart, or burning people. Just, in general. Just good advice. Comes off a little strong. If you're interested in realism's other bizarre content, and there's a lot of it, I'll say this, you won't be bored. Sedevacantism is a wide sect of former Catholics that believe the current pope, and basically every pope since the 1960s, has been completely illegitimate. Most of these beliefs can be tied to the Second Vatican Council, where the Catholic Church changed some rules about how church ceremonies were supposed to be held, such as speaking in English instead of Latin, or facing people instead of facing the altar, that sort of stuff. For most people, that's kind of minor, but for some people, well, they didn't really like those changes. So they decided to break off from the Catholic Church and began Sedevacantism. Now, let me be clear, most Sedevacanists aren't actually cult members, but out in the fringe areas, things get weird, like agricultural communes with their own local elected popes weird. And luckily for us and this video, the fringe stuff is where the good stuff is. And I have a very important question for you. Are you ready to get your alternatively selected Catholic Pope groove on? Hit it, Jesus!
Oh, Vatican II, you are the great apostasy. It cannot be denied, the synthesis of all heresies.
Oh, God. Damn it, it's good. It's really good. You know what? I want another verse. Give me one more. Please go hit the highway. We play by the rules, that's why we don't eat meat on Friday. Your use of annuity, my modernist strict dribble, just another fallacy. Oh, I love this. I'm gonna make this my ringtone. Is that still a thing people do? Hold on. What's wrong with getting a mark of Shiva on his brow? What's wrong with kissing the Quran? What's wrong with Buddhism? What's wrong with praying with Jews? This is one of the best songs I've seen in all of my research for this video, and it had to have making fun of being friends with Jewish people. Damn it. All right, I guess we'll skip ahead to the... Wait, hold on. Hey.
Your days are numbered. Your cupboard is bare.
No, shut it down. Shut it down. No, it's gonna be terrible. I promise you. Debated on, so catchy. The day when you will be... Son of a... All right, well, that was fun, but let's talk about something a little bit more serious. Groups like Sedevacantism and Realism can be really fun to, poke fun at because they're not so dangerous. But one group that's not funny is the People's Temple of the Disciples of Christ, the group probably more famously known as the Jonestown Cult. It was started in San Francisco in the early 1970s under the leadership of Jim Jones, who is apparently, not an Elvis impersonator. The group fought for racial equality and a more utopian society, which, hey, sounds great. And early on, they enjoyed a surprising amount of public support, even having events with governors and political figures. All of that ended in 1973 when a full expose by investigative journalist Lester Kinsolving and the testimony of 8 former members brought huge attention to some of the group's more unpalatable practices. It turned out Jim Jones cared a little bit less about racial equality and a little bit more about being worshipped as some sort of god, but they didn't put that on the brochures. To avoid public scrutiny and jail time, Jones and his followers fled the U.S. to the South American country of Guyana, where they built a new town they named Jonestown. Almost immediately, it became clear that there wasn't enough food or water or space to sustain a town of hundreds of people from American cities. And after U.S. authorities ramped up investigations of the group, Jones brought nearly all of his 1,000 followers to the center of his town, prepared large quantities of juice with poison in it, and convinced them to drink the poison in a mass suicide. He convinced the group to mass kill themselves. He convinced them to drink the poison. He convinced them to drink some of the not being alive juice in a mass stop being alive aside? Really? We now know that plenty of the members, in fact, did not want to commit suicide, stop being alive aside, so Jones had quite a lot of them involuntarily injected. We know all of this because the audio of the entire event, all of it, start to finish, was recorded on audio tape. It's on YouTube if you never want to sleep peacefully again, so instead of that nightmare fuel, here's some actual entertainment from the group. See, the People's Temple of the Disciples of Christ would utilize music as a huge part of their spirituality, which is not unusual within Christian groups in America. But what was a little bit unusual is how they often, it's hard to phrase this, they would often design the music and the lyrics so that everything that they're singing about could be applicable to Christ and God, but also kind of Jim Jones. Like, they would keep terminology super vague and nebulous just so they can talk about worshiping him, following him, doing what he wants. It gets a little weird, but the music itself, well, it's pretty fantastic. They also had some pretty good ballads. But what they really excelled at was soul. It's not bad music, but it's also being created by the group that did Jonestown. And there's no better place to see where those two identities are really contrasting than the entertainment night at the Pavilion. See, right before the night of what happened at Jonestown, the Jonestown group put together this big entertainment show. They had skits and monologues and sermons and music. And just look at this. Here's Marshall Applewhite, a practicing spiritualist in 1974 who chose to form a cult instead of, making millions in professional staring competitions. Look at the man's eyes. He ogles. I've never seen anybody ogle like that. I've been working on this video for like 3 months, like and subscribe, and I have seen this video and this man's eyes just for hours and hours. I should probably go back to the script. I'm sorry. While many of the beliefs were rooted in biblical scripture, a lot of members of Heaven's Gate thought that heaven wasn't so much like an afterlife as it was a physical place you could literally travel to on a UFO behind a comet by dying, which, not to split hairs, it kind of feels like an afterlife. One night in 1997, the majority of membership, including Applewhite, all ended their own lives in order to hitch a ride on a UFO again they believed was hiding behind a nearby comet. Back before their afterlife, or I guess, back during their before afterlife, the group mostly produced lectures and interviews and hours and hours and hours of, again, this man talking. But to be honest, I can't fathom how he convinced anybody to join his group because his speeches are just insane. Here, you know what? I'm going to give you just a clip. Here, just watch this. Here you go.
I'm here to offer you, as these are, an opportunity to know the truth so that if you can connect with it at any level, then you might survive the respading. We said that there are 3 types of individuals that will survive the recycling.
All you really need to know is that there was a leader, Applewhite, who called himself Doe, and sort of a sub-leader named Bonnie Nettles, who was named T. So T and Doe ran this group and convinced everybody that they needed to stop being alive. They also made this.
Doe is here to take us home. Break the focus that's on me.
Holy.
Me, oh me, next level mine. For next level will not be.
Can we just take a second to recontextualize what the hell we're watching? This is a group of a cult that ended their own lives using a Sound of Music song, my favorite musical, by the way, to sing about what they're going to do. You know what? Never mind. Check this out. This is Sawyer, a former member of the Heaven's Gate group that left before their mass, but he does still have a YouTube channel where he spreads their beliefs because he still considers himself a believer, and he often uses music to express that.
This is a song about T and Doe in 75 named Peep and Bow. They returned in carnal flesh like a son of man, a woman and a male, yet the father and her son.
There's also the Heaven's Gate website, but to be honest, there's not really that much entertainment on it anymore. It's just video transcripts and whatnot. So we're just going to go on to our next group. Take a look at this. This is, or it was, the Tama-Re Nubian compound, also known as Kadesh, Wasahi, the Golden City, or that weird acre of land near Waffle House off I-95 in Putin County, Georgia. Yeah, this is in Georgia. So how did this whole thing come into existence? Well, let's travel back to 1967 in downtown Harlem. Dwight York, a mildly successful music producer, is starting a new religious group. And he's mixing a bunch of different religions to see what sticks, like literally every religion you can think of, including ancient Egyptian practices. To pursue their spiritual perfection and to avoid a federal investigation, Dwight and his followers traveled down to a small rural area in Georgia and built Tama-Re. Before and during his time at Tama-Re, Dwight and his congregation created a lot of media, including some music under the record name of Dr. York. Listen to this slice of sexy beef audio.
I think
Technically speaking, a lot of his music at this point doesn't really have much to do with his religious beliefs and his Tom Murray compound, but I mean, am I not gonna include this? This chicken bacon Swiss sandwich of Arby's sensual. Why do I keep talking about Arby's in all my videos? Arby's, hi, I make videos about 9/11 and trauma and cults. Sponsor me, please. All right, next. In 2002, the compound was raided by the FBI for some of the worst child abuse you can imagine. The group disbanded, the buildings were demolished, and York was sentenced to 135 years in federal prison without even a chance of parole.
My name is Will Allen. I started making movies when I was 13. I went to film school, and 3 weeks after graduating, my sister introduced me to her spiritual teacher, and my whole life took a different path.
Sometimes cult-created entertainment starts as propaganda for the group, but it ends up becoming the most damaging kind of media of all, and that's what happened to Buddhafield. Buddhafield is a movement begun in the 1980s by Jamie Gomez, seen here. By the way, I didn't pick this picture just to show off his ridiculously good-looking abs. It's just impossible to find pictures of this guy not in a bathing suit. Gomez advertised Buddhafield as a free-spirited, youth-oriented New Age group. Anyone is welcome to join and become his follower, but members are required to give up their identities, power, and names to Gomez. He asked for full control of their existence, forcing them to do weekly hypnotherapy sessions with him, and maybe worst of all, requires all members to practice ballet for hours every day. That's sick. But don't worry, what you lose in having an identity and free time, you make up with finger magic. Gomez asked members of the group to make themselves a little more presentable for him, and in exchange will transfer cosmic power through his ancient Eastern finger Shakti technique to finger bang them. No, it's not like a physical fingering thing. It's more like a... Look, he literally bangs them with cosmic energy. He shoots them with spirit energy from his fingers inside of them for enlightenment. How's that? Good enough. So at some point, Gomez decided he needed some positive PR to fix up his group's image of brainwashing and ballet. Enter Will Allen, a deeply devoted member of the group with a lot of video editing experience. Gomez gets Allen a video camera and tells him to create a movie that documents all the good the group is doing so the world can see their beauty. Allen starts filming everything, and I mean everything. Their practices, their customs, their good moments, and some of their bad moments.
How did this shatter? How did everything shatter when I loved someone so much and gave my life for so long?
After 22 years of filming, yeah, that's right, 22 years, Allen started having some second doubts about the group, and one night he packed up his stuff and he left. And he included all of his videotapes with him. Allen would use that footage and go on to create Holy Hell, a tell-all insider documentary criticizing the group with content from inside the group. This film is the cult enthusiast equivalent of a tornado chaser's footage from inside a tornado. It's terrifying, but invaluable and rare, and in some ways it's kind of beautiful in the context of a member who survived and got out. Holy Hell had a very strong impact on Buddhafield's membership, and Gomez, well, he didn't like that. Allegedly, he's even sent followers to debut screenings to allegedly threaten ex-followers, and one of Gomez's own bodyguards has definitely stalked and threatened to kill someone in an interview from the film. It's safe to say Buddhafield is probably on its way out, but if there's any group on this list that I'm a little bit concerned about, it's probably this one. Not because they've done anything particularly heinous or violent in the past, but because this is a group put into a corner with a leader that has a pretty strong grasp on its membership. Located conveniently behind the Salvation Army thrift store on the corner of Magnolia and Douglas Avenue in El Calhoun, California, the Untitled Academy of Science was the brainchild of one Ernest Norman. Norman had claimed to have frequent communications with aliens who would tell him to spread themes of harmonic frequencies, karma, past life experiences, spiritual channeling, the cosmology of planets, and just generally that aliens were coming to the planet soon. There's nothing special here. It's your basic entry-level UFO religion. Now, the Untitled Academy of Science may not know a lot about real science, seen here.
They oscillate together and are like two people dancing a jig. And these same two people, when they get married, have children.
But they damn sure knew how to make low-budget sci-fi films like A visit to the underground cities of Mars. A film expression.
Wherein you, the listener, will be taken psychically along with us.
We're not going to kidnap you or anything. Just take you somewhere in these two bowls we stuck together. I mean, they're nice looking bowls.
Similar in appearance to two inverted bowls with.
Oh, okay. So you know what it looks like.
The craft is completely uncluttered with furnishing.
Yep. That's the USS Enterprise interior. What is it with cults using the USS Enterprise? You can't just use copyright material unless it's fair use, like my video. Definitely super duper is. Don't sue me.
Most beautiful.
It's hard to accept what I feel and see.
Boy, I wish I could see, like, literally anything. Why is this? There's like 3-minute cut on this guy holding a stick. I want to see the spaceship. Come on, there's got to be a cut of it. Come on, please.
It's only my guilt.
Please, just show us the spaceship or the alien or the. Don't show us the alien. Don't, Aang, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. I mean, there's something, there's something appealing about it. It's got charm. This is a long cut. I mean, you gotta break this up. You can't just have her smiling at us. This is too long. Please cut something else. Please cut away. Please cut away. Anything is better. Still better. Not sure how, but it is. Come here, little space baby. So maybe you don't like movies, but what about parades? Welcome to the 35th Interplanetary Concave of Light Parade, with exactly one car, one UFO, and a bunch of birds. That's a lot more birds than you would think would fit in that UFO. Boy, that's a lot of birds. It's like a clown car. Well, okay, it is like a clown car. So we're not even pretending to do the horns anymore. We're just gonna play the music and you guys walk with it. All right. Okay, that's enough of that. The John Frums, also known as the John Frum cult, is what's known as a cargo cult. Now, cargo cults are less abusive, money-grabbing nightmares and more just rituals founded on cultural misunderstandings. See, back in World War II, a U.S. pilot, probably by the name of John Frum, was stationed on the island of Tanya, and he and some other pilots landed there, and they supplied the native population with food and cargo and some machinery. The natives considered these pilots and their gifts to be supernatural in nature, so they began emulating U.S. military behavior and actions, using sticks to perform theatrical gun marches, and they even built ceremonial plane runways in the hopes that more supplies and cargo would come back from these, sky people. After the war, the U.S. pilots stopped visiting, but the natives continued an annual tradition of entertainment, of gun marches, and just a lot of fun. Check it out. They also made a lot of music sort of based around those John Frum identities, and it's kind of chill. Of course, nowadays, members of the John Frum cargo cult know a lot more about the world, and they know that, U.S. pilots weren't actually divine beings or that their ceremonies are going to bring them supplies, but they and other cargo cults around the world continue their traditions and festivals anyway because it's a part of their culture. And it's kind of cool, right? And just to reiterate, while they are technically classified as a kind of cult, cargo cults are generally non-abusive, non-harmful, and non-violent, unlike the next group. If you've never heard of the Westboro Baptist Church, I'm kind of sorry to be the one to tell you about them because now you have to live with the burden of knowing they exist. They were founded by Fred Phelps in the 1950s, and they made money by intentionally performing controversial protests of funerals. Protesting funerals of dead soldiers or protesting the funerals of just random gay people. Basically anything that would grab a headline, and then they would sue any city trying to block the protest as an infringement on their right to free speech. It is one big alleged scam, and most former members will call it a cult. The church would eventually somewhat depose Phelps, as in his last couple of years on Earth, he seemed to take a much kinder look on LGBT members and the people he had spent decades bullying, which allegedly led to his excommunication, but not allowing him to leave the group out of fear it would make them look divided, and probably would have. The leaders hated Phelps for this, and frankly, you'd be pretty hateful too if you made music videos like these.
Oh, don't you know how to read the Bible?
Hey Jews, God bless your dads. Made a promise.
Yeah, so the Westboro Baptist Church takes popular songs from the Beatles and from other old groups, and they just sort of throw on some anti-Semitic or homophobic comments on top of it. To be honest, it's pretty clever considering who made this. But they didn't stop at the Beatles. They sometimes go for the contemporary stuff too. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nobody could possibly do a Frozen parody, turning it into an anti-same-sex marriage song, but the Westboro Baptist Church, they find a way. My problem is less so with the hate speech, although that is a problem. My problem is more with the harmony. Honestly, I would love to show you a lot more content from this group, but unfortunately, basically every other song that they've done it can't be on YouTube. Guys, it's bad. It's really bad. It's so much worse than you're thinking it is. All right, I think we need like a cult palate cleanser. So let's find something more fun. No. Oh, okay. The creativity movement. Adherents of the creativity movement refer to themselves as creators, as a term derived from Hitler's Mein Kampf, where Hitler describes the white race as the Are they just fucking Nazis? Their motto is that morally, what is good for the white race is the highest virtue. What is bad for the white race is the ultimate sin. And they've got a website for children. Oh, the creativity kids. That's a good start. Oh, hold on. So you can print this out and color it. So I did. Let's see how things came out. Oh, that's looking pretty good. All right, so we saw what the kids' website has, but what about the adult website? Let's see here. There's a lot of stuff up here, but I think this is what we got to go with. There's a whole DVD site for. Oh, it's minimalist. I do love minimalism, but no, don't think different. Oof. All right, well, let's play the trailer. Oh, okay. Well, can't play the trailer. Never mind. Still, there is some entertainment from white power cults I can show you. Can you guess what Victory Day is, by the way? For the record, we are not going to be making fun of these two girls because they are children and they're just brainwashed by their parents.
Now sit down and listen to what I have to say. There soon will come a great war. Hey, buddy, about holy day. And after that purging, our people will be free and sing up in the bright skies a song for all to see. For the brand new dawn of our race.
These two girls have since renounced this whole music career, quote unquote, their parents forced them into. So kind of a happy ending, I guess. Synanon was set up as an addiction therapy compound in the late 1950s by Charles Dederick, who employed attack therapy to treat addicts, and things got better from there. The support group would gather, and each of the members would take turns berating one another, with Dederick at the center controlling all of it. After the patients tore each other down, Dederick would build them back up with his own agenda and an instilled devotion to him as their new life leader. Over time, things moved beyond just verbal abuse, as Dederick would encourage his users to start getting physically violent with each other. And soon, Dederick decided that the whole thing needed to be like a church. So he renamed the whole thing the Church of Synanon. But you didn't even have to be an addict to join anymore. The Church of Synanon was wide open to anyone. What they weren't super open to was any criticism of the group, which was dealt with through violence and intimidation, like the time they put a poisonous snake in a critic's mailbox and almost killed him. That critic, by the way, Paul Morantz, would go on to write a book about his experiences fighting the cult. And hilariously, the book starts with a special thank you to Charles Dederick for being, quote, too cheap to use an actual hitman because an actual hitman would have succeeded. And by the way, this wasn't some small-time, little-known group. Politicians, wealthy families, famous celebrities, everybody praised the strength of Synanon during its first couple of decades, which is probably how they got a full-scale, high-budget Hollywood movie made, simply titled Synanon, filmed entirely at the Synanon compound and performed mostly by Synanon members, although they did have some pretty high-profile celebrities as well. This is the board of directors, and they're part of the coolest corporation in the world. Wow.
Synanon is a real corporation.
It's not a cult.
Its business is junkies. Chuck Dietrich is the ex-drunk who dreamed it up and fights to keep it from becoming a nightmare. Get out of that car and shut up. Stand over there. Zanky.
Zanky?
The hip-hop head. Up from the gutter to grab anything he can get.
The hip-hop head. You're a dirty little hip-hop head, aren't you?
Tastes like a chick.
Oh, that's a little creepy, huh? Where only the damned want in. And only the desperate want out. That's accurate, yes.
Who's dying to get her in the sack?
Ow! Bow! The dope fiend screams the truth. Well, luckily, by the 1970s, investigations into the group led to the loss of their IRS tax-exempt status, they lost all their money, and the group dissolved. Dederich would spend the rest of his life in a trailer home, fading into irrelevance. Coming in as our last kind of technically Christian cult is the Church of Wells, a strict revivalist approach to Christianity. And they want to stop degeneracy, all forms of entertainment, and they think people should just have a lot more loathing for their sins. You should really just sort of hate yourself. Anyone in the group has to cut ties with people outside the group, and there have been multiple cases of allegedly holding people against their will, crashing a homecoming parade by yelling, "You're going to hell" to children, very classy, and interrupting Joel Osteen's mass service, which I feel a little mixed about, but still, no, don't heckle people. Now, all of that is terrible, but even worse, they published slam poetry. Give me a holy beat, Jesus.
This is 2 Cups. It's written by Francis Florentino. He's my boy. The pop filter is off. Let's do it. As the fiery contents reach the brim, and the Lord views there is no more mercy in him. For other those things are not so bleak, as his cup of mercy there are definitely no leaks. They find and strive to do his will, even though temptation and trial they continue still. His glory is real, and for us it waits to be seen in the fullness of a paradise and fiery lake. Awaken now to this desperate cry, lest this final day take you by surprise. 2 cups sit in the Lord's hands, each with its own eternal bands. Lay hold of this truth, and you reckon that it's true that the Lord's glory may overtake this world anew, that eternity might be sealed. Holy, holy, with everlasting praises of holy, holy, holy! Yeah, take us out, Jesus. Fly us out. Fly us out, Jesus. Here we go. I wish I had an animated body.
Okay, the Church of Euthanasia. Is this real? Is this real? Seriously? Seriously? Because the name is... All right, yeah, it's real. Okay, so the Church of Euthanasia is a self-described anti-human, serious religious organization that believes that the only way to bring religious salvation to the earth is by there being less people. They got their first real strike of attention when they were on the Jerry Springer show back in the 1990s. And I know this is technically not entertainment created by the cult, but what am I going to do? Am I not going to show a Jerry Springer scene with a cult? Come on.
First, let's meet the founders, Reverend Chris Corder, Pastor Kim, and Vermin X.
The group also has some animations they've put out. The only one that I can really show you is this one, though. It's called The Stork. Okay, so far, nothing too bad. Flying around. Please don't do something to the baby. I really don't want to have to remove this whole... Oh, come on, no. In the late 1960s, a very bad man named David Berg started a church called The Family, a hyper-fundamentalist Christian group with some unique interpretations of the Bible. David, as leader, also referred to himself by so many names you could literally play Scrabble with them. There was Mo, Moses King David, Dad, Granddad, Father, the Moses King, and my favorite for that triple word score, the end-time prophet. But don't let those titles fool you. Moses King David, Father Burger King, was humble enough to share the spotlight with other people he called spirit people. Now, let's see, there was Martin Luther King Jr. Hey, all right, nice choice. Elvis Presley, okay, not a bad guy. Never thought of him as very spiritual. Winston Churchill, well, I think he won World War II against the Nazis. That's spiritually helpful. Richard Nixon, come on. Merlin, that's not even a real person. The Egyptian Sphinx. Okay, not only is that not a real person, that's not even a fake person because that's not a person. That's a mythical creature. Marilyn Monroe. Well, you know what? Compared to Merlin or Nixon, that's actually not so bad. What I really want to show you today are his comic books. Let's start off with the seminal classic, Love Light. Love is the power of light of God. When you give love to someone, real love, God's love, that's like showing them his light. God loves you and I love you. I love this guy's like, yeah, well, I gotta go. No, it's real and I'll show you. Have you got it? You have if you have him. Jesus is his physical expression of his love and his words are his love. All right, there's got to be something better than this one. True Comics number 567, Pisces. It was during the sign of the fish under the Romans when the Christians were under persecution that they used the fish as a secret identifying sign. That fish must have been pretty important to these fishermen. Fishing was their most important business. Fishing from men. Wait, what? Also, what? And then for some reason they go to Russia. Today we're flooding the earth with our doctrine, our literature, but the day is soon coming that more and more countries are going to be closed, where we can't give our literature anymore, and we're going to have to win souls by flirty fishing. That's it, Polly. The communist border. We've got to be more prayerful. We'll have to be more prayerful now. Not more careful, prayerful. How are we going to get our income now, Francisco, when we can't give out our literature anymore? I don't understand what your business model is here. You guys give out these books for free anyway. True, the Lord supplied. Thank you, Jesus. All right, what does Jesus have to say about this comic? Wait. Jesus, no. Jesus, no! Jesus, don't kiss that fish! Jesus is macking on that fish! There can be no God in a universe where this picture exists. Kiss that fish, Jesus! Kiss it! All right, our next comic is the Fing Patriarchs. Here, Pharaoh, here's my wife or my sister. Hi. What the is this? Is that the end of the comic? Okay, let's move on to Taming the Baby. Victory in Progress. This will be a train wreck. I love everything about you. Your words, your ways, your everything. He's a big responsibility. Come on, David. Wait, hold on. When I kiss you, Becky, I'm kissing Dad and Marie. What? This is an actual music video called Kathy Don't Go, created by the family, about why credit cards are bad. Not because of the crippling debt they put you in, but because they don't want you to have like a barcode or ID. Don't go, Kathy, don't go. Don't go, please don't go. Don't you go, Kathy. Don't you go, Kathy. Oh, she's going. Look, she's going. Kathy, don't go to the supermarket. Kathy, don't go to the supermarket. Kathy, I swear to God, if you go to the supermarket. They say their new computer is the way to control. But what they didn't say is that it cost your soul. Oh my God, what? Kathy, you better get your ass in there, or hey, what are you kids doing? What are you young, attractive teenagers doing? You just walk home. They're not chasing you. I don't know where you're gonna get your food, Kathy, because you're gonna have to go to the supermarket eventually. Let's go to the next one. This is SOS, the Japanese music video made by the family when they changed their name to the Family International. They really wanted to appeal to that, I guess, arcade community in Japan that really wants to be Christian. might be thinking, well, if this is a video for Japanese people, why is it in English? And that's a fantastic question. God damn it! I knew I shouldn't have been in this video. What the hell is this? Ooh, okay, here we go. All right, it's better than Shinrikyo's stuff. Come on. Aw. I'm gonna let you know things are about to get rough.
Well, they say about 60 billion years ago, a little fish changed to a tadpole, sprouted legs and grew some hands.
Oh, no, please don't make it move. Why is it so much worse when it moves?
Far-fetched stories in my day, but the one
Bones. Oh, no, I don't have any bones. How much money do we have left in our budget for the CGI skeleton? We've got nothing. We're out. All right, give me some string. I'll make this happen. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, there's the dance number. After David Burke's death, David's son, David Dito, left the group and revealed some of the group's darker secrets. For example, and things are going to get really dark, so you've been warned, David Dito had been forced to endure sexual abuse at the hands of people working for his father. And I don't have to say allegedly because the family published an official picture book showing this abuse, titling it The Book of David Dito. Let me repeat that. They photographed David Dito's pre-puberty sexual abuse, plastered those pictures in a book, and then passed that book out for free to members. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine your own father doing that to you? It's ghoulish. And even after reaching adulthood, David Dito was unable to forget the trauma he endured, and one night he took his own life, and he took the life of one of his former abusers. You know, it's easy to look at the content and entertainment created by these groups and laugh. I mean, some of this stuff it's comical and bizarre. The only thing you can do is laugh at the absurdity of it, but we also can't forget that while the content might be fictional, the victims of some of these groups are very, very real. Anyway, I hope you liked my video. If you did, a like, a comment, or a subscribe would be great. This channel has been hovering at about 1,000 subscribers for way too long, so it'd be nice to finally crack that 2,000 mark. And if you'd like to help me create more content, consider joining my Patreon. Every video right now costs me about $100 to make, so I'm operating at a little bit of a loss. So joining my Patreon could help me break even. That's the goal of this channel. Paper Will, I'm breaking even. In any case, have a chill week, and I'll see you back in the lobby.